Bosh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Strike Thoughts. Pete, we're in person. Nice to meet you.
It's all over, isn't it? It's all over.
There's no more corona. No, the
yeah,
people are still dying.
Keep your masks on.
Yeah. I love your pictures you send them and your beard's like.
Oh, don't. We're told to, like, obviously, when you buy your machines, I still have mine on. I have mine on all day, but I sort of pull it down a bit, like, and then when I go walking around, I'll put it back up, and then I'll pull it. It's just like, but it's fucking just saying to you, my fucking ears are fucked.
You think he's pushing your ears out a little bit more?
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna have to have them pinned back after.
I'll be working. I work in a bank, don't I? So now, from tomorrow, today is the 23rd of July. Tomorrow is the 24th. It's going to be mandatory for customers to wear the masks, but it's not mandatory for us.
It's taking long enough, isn't it?
I know. What is the point now? Surely it's too fucking late. Does my nutting. Anyway, welcome back.
No.
We're talking fighting today, Peter. We are 2 cards behind. And there's some really, really good fights to actually talk about. So we'll just get through them as quick as we can, and then we will come on to what's happening this weekend. Pete, we can start with it if you want. Actually, we've got let's save it for last. I'm just so excited about it. I can't wait. I can't wait. So UFC Fight Island 1. It was Danny Ige against Calvin Kattar. The reason why I want to go through the whole card is because there were some fucking banging fights on there. Now, you're probably not even going to remember them, but I'll refresh your memory. So the first one was Jared Gordon against Chris Fishgold. Fishgold didn't make weight on this one, and I just wanted to ask you about making weight, Pete. When fighters don't make weight, it makes him ineligible for bonuses and stuff like that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, to be honest, I think there should be like bigger penalties for like how big the weight cut is, or the misses. If it's like half a pound or something ridiculous like that, and the person's really trying, and I don't know, but when people come in like 3-4 pounds overweight, it's just like, what was you doing?
Yeah,
like,
I know.
And they must have known during the week, like they weren't on target, and I reckon maybe they get to the point where they're like, look, I'm not going to make it. I'm just going to kill myself trying to make it. So I'll just carry on. But
it's a weird one, man.
That's what I mean. The whole weight cutting thing is just like, it seems like it should be coming to an end now, or like there should be a new form of how they do it. I don't know how, but like, yes, I don't know. But then you look at, well, obviously we're going to come on to it later, but then you look at people that are like maybe lost fights to people that didn't make weight.
Yep.
And they'll probably use that as an excuse of like, oh, he was 2 pounds over. I don't know whether that really have a difference.
Are you going to have that much more power in your punches?
Yeah, like just from 2 pounds, and it's like, but then obviously we've proven it doesn't really, it didn't really matter with Figueiredo.
No. Yeah, well, he didn't make weight, so he was ineligible for bonus. That was Chris Fishgold. This was a featherweight fight. It was a really close first round, a couple of guillotine attempts. It was a unanimous decision win in the end for Gordon. And after the fight, very emotional. He's talking about his missus. Here's the thing, right? You know, when we watch a fight, especially now where you're a bit more on the socials and stuff than I am. And the reason why is, like, basically, on my personal page, I've unfollowed everything MMA related. And on the Strike Thoughts page, which I control, obviously, I've got everything MMA related there. The reason why I've unfollowed everything is because the amount of times I've been fucked over the morning after when I'm trying to not find out, and then I accidentally open something.
Done it this week.
So annoying, man. So I don't follow anything. So I don't really see like the backstage gossip, and I am only really interested in the fights. However, what you don't see with stuff like this is, I don't know anything about Jared Gordon or Chris Fishgold, and then after the interview, you just see this fighter dig out a massive win, and then in the interview, he's talking about his missus just had a miscarriage. She was 10 weeks in. She then tested positive for corona. His cornermen then tested positive for corona, so he couldn't have any cornermen, and then he had to have Paul Felder in his corner.
Oh, that guy.
It's this guy, and it's like, mate, you have just been through all of that, and all I see is the fight. Do you know what I mean? There's so much that goes into it.
That's why I think it's good having all this. Like, I try to stay off social media, or try and not go on it as much as possible. But like, it's good even having even podcasts and stuff. Like the amount of people I've disliked, or not for no particular reason, where I'm just like, I don't really like that guy or the way he carries himself.
Right.
And then I hear him on a podcast, and I'm like, fucking hell, he's totally just not what I thought. Like, Triple C. Even though that's his gimmick, he's meant to like niggle at people and try and make them a little bit like not like him. And it's like, and then you hear him in person, and it was all just a joke. And he just, I was actually pissing myself laughing when he said that the Intergender Championship, when he was calling for that. And I'm reading that on my phone, like,
what a cunt.
Fucking, how dare you? And then like you hear him on Joe Rogan, and it's like, no, someone told me to do that. Like he didn't. I don't think he said who. He was like, yeah, someone quite famous dared me to do it and track it on social media. And I was like, oh man, that's fucking hilarious.
Of course it's a gimmick. Of course, that's how they get you. Do you know what? It's things like that as well. Like, you have to remember, Pete, and I always say this to people, like, even when it comes to people like the Kardashians and stuff like that, people watch the TV program about them and think they know these people. Like, we don't know anything about these people. It's like people talk about what's his name? Abdul Aziz or whatever his name is. People like, you just look at him and you think, cunt. Yeah. Like, and then you hear about all his clients and they're like, mate, everyone loves him.
He must be a good guy, but then everyone's good. There's always going to be people that don't like certain people, or they'll go to one side or the other. But yeah,
exactly. Felder was hilarious, obviously in the geezer's corner, and then after the guy won, he tweeted out saying, "Yeah, like, I'll expect my bonus" or whatever. So that was funny. The commentary team, Pete, on this one was Felder, Bisping, Anik. No, it was Felder, Bisping, and John. God, I can't remember the geezer's name. He's an English guy as well. Okay. So you had Bisping, Felder, and another English guy. Felder is the perfect person with Bisping, like, because they both have a laugh, and then they both also know what the fuck they're talking about as well. So it's really, really good. They were talking about how they were like both washed up, and that's fucking hilarious. Okay, so the next one was Modestas Bukauskas against Andreas Michaelides, or Michaelides, can't remember his name, light heavyweight. Bukauskas is trained by his dad, and he's a British Lithuanian. So obviously, as soon as I see the British flag, I'm like, go on. It was his UFC debut. It was quite a weird finish to the fight, Pete. I don't know if you remember this. Andreas got hit with some elbows maybe to the back of the head, to the side of the head. The round finish, he stayed on the ground, and then he fell through the door. Did you see this?
Yeah, I saw the highlight. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, because I think the ref was having a close look at him, and the guy was sort of like, it's almost like he was complaining.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden he's like, whoop, rolled back. I swear his team was trying to hold him. Like, no, he's fine.
It was like
it was a good stoppage.
I'm so glad you said that. I think it's a good stoppage,
even though you could. The guy could argue, look, I've got, how long did I get in the corner? A minute.
Yeah,
a minute. Some people can recover like really well in a minute.
Yeah,
and fair. Like, the fight ain't going on, so he's not going to take any shots in that minute. It's just, I don't know, maybe could they have given him, if the ref looked at him for that whole minute and then decided, I don't know, but
maybe. But I think, first of all, when the fight finishes, if you're not up straight away, I'm sorry, like, you're not, you need to get up. It's not it's not, I know it's a rest period, but you have to get up and walk back to your corner, mate. He's just fucking led there. Who was that heavyweight who lied with he led and put his feet up on the stool? Like, if you're doing that, that's fair enough. But mate, he basically got up, fell through and I know that he didn't stumble. He went to lean against the fence, but the door opened and he fell through it. And then the ref was just like, done. Yeah, I think a good stoppage. But it was, they called it TKO by elbows. And it is there's a thin line between the back of the head and the side of the head. Yeah. But they look like fair shots to me. You always
see them ones like up against the cage. Them elbows always do damage.
It looked like a fair stoppage to me. And then there was a few tweets. What do you think, Pete, about these tweets that they keep showing on the side during the fight? What do you think about it?
As long as it doesn't distract me from like a fucking knockout or something like that, I don't. Some are all right, and then I don't know why they've started doing that. Maybe to make it more interactive with fans.
But there's never any fans. It's all celebrities.
Oh, is it just celebrities?
It's all fighters.
Oh, okay.
It's all fighters and celebrities.
Sure?
Yeah.
I've seen some, maybe they're like odds makers and shit like that.
Yeah, it's odds makers, fighters. I haven't really. If they do, maybe they do fans. I haven't seen it.
Get on it,
mate.
This weekend.
That needs to be I should need to do it from the Strikeforce account. Fucking come on, Strikeforce.
Put photos up on Twitter.
Yeah. I don't like them. I don't like it. I don't know why they're doing it.
Yeah, maybe like during the corner when there's like the minute break, they could have little things come up, people what their thoughts are, and then go back to the fight. You wouldn't have that anywhere else. I don't think.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. Why football matches on and you fucking got people come on the boys, or like, what's the why?
Fucking don't do it on football.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, isn't it? So it's a good stoppage and fair play to Bukauskas. I love a British fighter in there, obviously repping for Lithuania and for Britain as well. Oh, now that the camera's on, my secrets are given away, mate. I'm on my phone. I'm not doing this all from the top of my head. Leroy Murphy was the next fight against Ricardo Ramos in the featherweight division. bruv. Again, I'm hoping you watch these fights. Ramos kept throwing a Rabona leg kick. Did you see this?
No.
Right.
There was. I don't know whether it was both of these. My prelims haven't taped. It's just recorded the main events, but.
So Murphy won because he landed some big shots, and it was he just basically won with a stoppage. He was throwing Rabona leg kicks. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Why would you be throwing that?
I don't know. I've seen people do it before, and it's like,
why are you doing that? It has no power. Like it was. I think Bisping was getting vexed. Bisping was like, "You need to stop doing that." He knows they can hear him.
Like maybe do it once just to throw the person off and be like, "Oh, what? You don't know what's coming." But
yeah.
To continue doing it, like,
don't get it. It just didn't make any sense, and he obviously lost the fight. Then there was John Phillips against Kazmat Chimaev, and mate, Chimaev just absolutely dominant here. He kept throwing punches. This bit here because it's not covered by a glove.
Okay.
And he was. I've never seen that before. Every single fight that's happening recently, they're doing stuff that I haven't seen before. So he had him in a rear naked choke. And then he was punching him with these, and they were going, "Oh, like he's not. He's what? Is that? They called it like an inverted hammer fist, but it's not a hammer fist.
Cut him or anything.
Yeah, bro. He was beating him up badly, and I was thinking that's fucking mad. Like it was really, really good. Anyway, busted him up. Second round finish, he got him with a Darce choke. So it was really, really impressive there from Chimaev, and he was just like. In his post-fight interview, he was just like, anybody, I smashed him, anybody. I was like, mate, I believe you.
Who's that sound like?
I believe you. He's like Khabib. He's exactly like Khabib. I was thinking he sounded exactly like him. And then we're moving on to the main card quickly. It's Abdul Razak Al Hassan against Munir Aziz in the welterweight. It was a really, really good round from Al Hassan to start with, but a really, really good chin from Munir. This was like just a massive war between these two, and Munir won this one 2-1. Then we had Molly McCann from the UK against Taylor Santos. Molly from Liverpool. Did you see this one?
Yeah, I did see that one. That was did you see the stare down?
Yeah, I did.
That was the one that I wanted to watch because of the way they was just that. I don't know. It looked like there was some like animosity there, but they didn't. Like as if they had previous or something. I was just like, Jesus, what's going on here?
When I watched it, I remember watching this fight, and you know when England play Brazil in football, you fucking proper get behind it, and then the Brazilians always like dirty.
Oh yeah. It's just the fans as well, I guess. Like two fucking wicked sets of fans.
Yeah, and this is what it felt like for me. Like watching this fight, I was like, oh, this is a bit like that. And then, bruv, she pulled her hair.
That was it, yeah, first round, wasn't it?
Dirty.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah. I was thinking dirty. It reminded me of like fucking, do you know what I mean? Ronaldinho, Rivaldo doing a little...
thought about that. Maybe that's happened before and no one's seen it, but like...
She's putting her hair. Proper dirty.
Is this that same ref? The like bald guy, like the one who was standing people up quick.
Yeah.
He's fucking wicked. I like him now. At first, when I saw him with their first two stand-ups in maybe the previous event, I was like, why is he standing people up so quick, man? He's stupid. Like, let him work. And then he was doing some other stuff and that, and I was like, no, he's fucking...
I think they were quick stand-ups, Pete. I think they were quick stand. Even
the
comment.
No, I think they was. That's why. But then he done some other stuff afterwards. It was actually really good. Like he was the guy that stopped the guy that fell out the cage.
Right? Yeah, him.
Like,
yeah,
little things he's doing like is good, I guess. But,
I felt like it rocked him a little bit because then for the rest of it, I feel like Herb Dean's my favourite ref. Do you know why? You don't hear from him. You don't see him a lot. Like you only see when the fight's over. That's it. Yeah. If you're a ref, I feel like he's in a rush to get involved. Like, maybe, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like he just feels like I don't know. It's difficult. It's a difficult job.
At least. So.
Yeah, well, fair play. Yeah, dirty hair pulling, dirty. A good little crop peak coming from England. Liverpool seems to be a bit of a hub at the moment. Fishgold, Molly McCann, Till, they all sounded like they had, you know, I got an ear for it, obviously. They sounded like they had Scousers in the corner. A nice little hub for MMA in Liverpool. Yeah. Really, really good. Molly got outclassed here, to be honest, by Santos. It was just obviously a unanimous decision. Didn't knock her out. Molly did keep coming, showed good heart, but yeah, it was just outclassed there. Just moving on to some of the main fights then. Jimmy Rivera against Cody Stamann, Pete. Big fight for me, this. Cody's number 9 ranked in the bantamweight. Jimmy's number 8 in the bantamweight. So they're both moving up to featherweight. So that was a weird one. Okay. Yeah, really, really good fight. Pretty much non-stop action. But Jimmy Rivera with the win. I was sending a few emails during this fight, I'll be honest. So I didn't catch it all, but it was...
I was just going to say, like, from where we saw Stamann the other week against
Sterling.
Kelleher. No, Kelleher. What was his
Oh
name?
yeah, Brian Kelleher.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and we saw him, like the power that he's got, and Stamen sort of stayed in the pocket and sort of done all right. But I noticed when he was fighting Rivera, it was almost like Rivera's the next level up power.
Right.
It was just like he got hit a few times first round. He's just like, fuck that. Like, just Rivera just looks like a beast.
So it's interesting they're both moved up to featherweight. What do you think of that then?
I don't know.
It's weird, isn't it? Like for them both to be ranked at bantamweight, but then they're having a fight at featherweight. It's weird.
Unless it was to do with because Stamen's only just fought,
maybe,
and he's just like, I don't want to do that cut again. But then I don't know. It's unless they're just looking at that bantamweight division, like nah.
Yeah, innit? Fuck that. There's too many killers. Yeah, there's too many killers in there. Finally, just penultimate fight of the evening: Tim Elliott against Ryan Benoit. Have you noticed now that the correct way to pronounce that name is Benoit?
Is it? It's
yeah,
Benoit.
Yeah, it's Benoit. However, no one wants to be associated with Chris Benoit.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
That's the only spelling of that name I've seen since, and I was like, what's the other guy's name?
It was Tim Elliott and Ryan Benoit.
Elliott against Benoit. This should be good. And it's like, oh no.
Benoit. Yeah, I think Chris Benoit has probably, ruined it for everyone. No one wants to be
Benoits, at least.
No one wants to be associated with the Benoits. So it's like Benoit, but it's like the T's ain't pronounced in French, mate. I know what that anyway. Maybe it is Benoit. I don't know, but it's not. It's Benoit. Good first round, really good exchanges. And again, it was just basically a back and forth kind of fight this. But Tim Elliott with the win. His post-fight interview was really, really good because he come out and the first thing he said was like, I just want to thank Ryan because that was a great fight and it takes two people to make a great fight. And I just want to thank him. He's like my dance partner in there is really, really good. And thanks to him for making the fight as well. So yeah, fair play to Tim Elliott. He wins that one in flyweight. Yeah.
Benoit.
Yeah, Benoit. Right, and then it was Dan Ige against Calvin Kattar. Pete, what did you think of this fight?
Yeah, it was sick. It was
so
really,
good.
It was really interesting at the start, and then once Kattar just sort of like, it's almost like he adjusted and just sort of got into his rhythm. And the nose, I thought the nose was going to be a big problem.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, it's not going to be another like cowboy situation. Like, and he kept a few times he was like small little like blowing it out.
Yeah,
I was just like, don't fucking keep blowing that. And then it's almost like the corner man fucking got it back to perfect. It didn't really bleed that much after that, and it was just he just sort of went away. It just that gives his class. Like I think he's definitely like championship material.
100%. The featherweight division stacked, but he is one of the fucking absolute killers in that division. His hands, bruv.
I know. It's like boxing wise, I don't think actual technical boxing. I'm not sure there's anyone I've seen better lately. Like there's people with good hands, like Masvidal. He's got power and stuff, and he sets stuff up, but actual just boxing, he's a sick,
phenomenal. Jan, I'd say Jan's got some good hands on him as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't seen like the technique and the accuracy as well, like just unbelievable. Really, really good change to the end of the fight, Pete. And I've always said this. They interviewed Dan Ige after the fight as well. Did you see the post fights?
I can't remember.
They interviewed Dan Ige, and it's like, look, he ain't been knocked out.
Yeah, I did see. Yeah, he's pretty bad.
He's pretty bad, but he hasn't been knocked out. He's still coherent. Like, why are you only interviewing? Like, I want to hear from everybody. Like in football, they interview both managers and both teams. Like, I want to hear from him. So it was a really, really good change, quite a refreshing change. They interviewed him. Ige was very gracious and humble. Just basically said, he was too much for me. He was just a bit more technical than me. And then Kattar's interview was, he just kind of knows he's the shit. And just called out the champ straight away. Just called him out. I want to fight the champ. Yeah. That would be a good fight, Pete.
There's so many good fights in that division now. It's just
unbelievable. So yeah, that was a really, really good card. We managed to nearly make it through that in good time. We haven't waffled Pete yet. Right. So the other one was UFC Fight Island 2, I guess they're calling it. I guess.
Yeah. I looked at that. I was like trying to search on Google. I was like, what are they calling this? Oh, it's only number 2.
Because UFC 251 wasn't UFC Fight Island 1. It was on Fight Island, but
that was just UFC Fight Island, yeah.
No. So that was UFC 251.
Cool.
And then like there's a pay-per-view, and then now that was UFC Fight Island. This is Fight Island 2.
It's probably too much to call it 251 Fight Island 1.
It's just too much.
Do you reckon they're going to keep it going?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think it'd be fun. I think just because of it's almost like I reckon Dana and that would probably be like, look, you've helped us out,
right?
So and you can imagine, obviously, it'll bring money to the place once they can have fans there and stuff, and everyone will be able to, just fucking. I'd fucking love to go. That'd be sick.
That'd be so sick.
Obviously, like mate Denzel, he lives out like in Dubai, and it'd just be sick to actually go there and then just be, there's this Fight Island, but all the other shit you can do as well, like what Bisping and Matt Serra done with him, like the skydiving place and rock climbing and shit. It fucking looks so good.
It looks mad. Yeah, I've got friends in Dubai as well. Shout out to Keith. So maybe it'd be sick if we went, bruv. It'd be sick. We can't even make it to a London
Formula One as well, isn't it? Got the Formula One. Is that Formula One track?
I'm not going to watch that, mate. Tell you that.
Well,
but
no,
I mean,
get in one.
UFC Fight Island 2P. Again, I don't know if you watched the prelims, but I'll just go through them very, very quickly. You had Malcolm Gordon against Amir Albazi in the bantamweight division. You ain't got a chance, lads. No, I'm joking. But yeah, bantamweight division stacked. Albazi from Iraq, but coming to London when he was 15. Like I said, as soon as I see they're a British fighter, I instantly want them to win. Just want them to win.
I did see this guy. Yeah, like quite a few underdogs won on this card, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. I did watch these.
It was a really, really good fight. Albazi took him down with a single leg. Malcolm reversed it and ended up in Albazi's guard, but Amir catches him in a deep triangle choke. That was the first triangle choke of 2020 in the UFC. And I know there hasn't really been a lot of cards. When you think of triangle chokes, you think it's so easy to get caught in one. But we're in July. I know we obviously have had 3 months without action, but it's good to get the first triangle choke of the year. Great performance there from Albazi, coming England and Iraq. Brett Johns against Montel Jackson. Brett Johns, Welsh. Montel Jackson, American. Jackson just basically had a good first round, but... Yeah. Brett Johns took this one and wins by decision. Great, because he had post-fight banter with Paul Felder at the end. Did you see his post-fight?
I saw that. Yeah.
So
I remember what he said. Oh, the gingers.
Yeah. So good, man.
About the sun.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, he's like, I got that ginger in me. I love it. I think he's fucking brilliant, and he showed a lot of charisma. Brett Johns, so fair play to him.
Yeah, it was good.
Mate, British fighters. I'm telling you, there's something.
I thought he was in trouble. Like that first round, I think. Is it Jackson like popped him with a straight left?
Correct.
I was like, wow, his striking on a different level, and then didn't really do much after that.
Correct. Yeah, he dropped him. Yeah, he did drop him, but then Brett just put it on him with more. Basically, it was a close fight, but Brett just had a bit more control time, I think, like up against the clinch and just sort of putting it on him and just kind of weighed him down. So yeah, it was a really, really good fight. And I've just, as I mentioned, a bit of ginger banter at the end. Love all that. Lightweight fight was next. Joe Duffy against Joel Alvarez. Really, really quick finish from Alvarez. It was a guillotine. Do you remember this one?
Yeah, I thought it was a sick fight as well. Up until that, like the leg kicks and stuff, they were just trading. You could just the way you could hear it as well. I was like, Jesus Christ! And then, it was a fucking, especially against like a submission guy.
Yeah,
all the submissions are flying out at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah, love it. There's a lot of finishes coming out, which I love. We've spoken about this before, but if I'm watching a card and there's 10 finishes in the first round, love it. Fucking love it, mate. Yeah. Don't understand what people want. Oh, it weren't a war. Shut up. I was just with these guillotine, like when you're going in for a single leg, it's one of those things where people don't get caught in those guillotines as much as you'd think. Do you know what I mean? They're quite hard to get. Like when you're going in for a single leg, you're basically putting your head into their armpit.
It's weird because loads of people do it like that, but you're meant to put your head in the middle of their chest, so they obviously. But then. People just, I guess you've got so much to think about. You need to avoid knees and elbows, shit like that. And it's just, maybe people are just good at getting out of them, I guess.
Maybe. Just train for it all the time, yeah. I guess and so. Next fight was Nad Nirmani against Grant Dawson. Nad Nirmani, again from the UK, fucking coming England. This was a catchweight fight, Pete, 150 pounds. Dawson kicks Nad and stumbles, but then got up with a flying knee, really dominant from Dawson. Had his back. Nad got out, but it was a unanimous decision for Grant Dawson. Do you remember this one?
Yeah,
any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it was really
good. Good back and forth on that one. And then the main prelim of the fight was Kardis Ibragimov against Roman Doladze. So this is the one that we mentioned. This is the guy from Georgia, Pete. What did you think of this guy?
Weird, but entertaining as well. Like there's definitely something about him. And yeah, when they, because obviously they were talking quite a bit about. They've spoke to him before, and he said this isn't his real passion. He just sort of does it and stuff. He said his other family members do all certain jobs, and he's like, I just wanted to give this a go.
Yeah.
And then he puts in a performance. It's just like, okay, maybe you should take this a bit more serious.
He said, it's not my dream, but it's my goal.
That's it.
That's what he said.
When he shouted a Bisping at the end.
Yeah, because they kept saying it before, like it's not my dream, and then he said it's not my dream. But mate, absolute fucking savage. He went for a head kick, I think, but then ended up kneeing him.
The guy sort of like knelt in, dove in, but like, yeah, like it was just funny because every little moment he was reacting to. So I think he checked one of the other guy's kicks, and it must have hurt the other guy. And he's like, "Oh, like,
yeah."
He's just like, "Yeah." And then there was like a punch. And he's like, "I got you there." It's just like, just seemed like he was enjoying it.
I love fighters that do that. I love Holloway. Holloway does that.
Yeah,
like if Holloway rocks you and your legs go funny, he starts like going funny as well. I love it.
I remember that because that other guy, I think people keep doing this. There's been loads of like people checking leg kicks.
Yep.
And they sort of raise their leg up behind them, like heel to butt,
right?
And as if to say, like, "Oh fuck that!" Like, and he just, it's just the way he pointed. He's like, "Oh,
got you there." I love it. Yeah, really entertaining as well in his post-fight interview. But I just love fighters with a bit of charisma, bro. Like, just fucking, I love it. I love it. So fair play to him. We'll see what happens if he even stays being a fighter. Who knows? But he was an absolute fucking savage, mate. So fair play to Dolidze. All right, moving on to the main card. First fight was Pantoja against Askarov in the flyweight division. I remember watching this fight, and then you watch a heavyweight fight. Like one of my, now that we do this pod, and you know, I know, fucking don't get me wrong, we ain't got a million listeners or whatever, but now that people are seeing that me and you enjoy fighting enough to get together once a week and talk about it, it's bringing the people around us more into fighting, especially now that football's changed. Shit, correct. And yeah, people are coming into fighting. So shout out to Phil Erd. He was sort of talking to me a bit about the fight, and he said, I've just got a few questions, and he was just like, what, like, when are the different fights in a different weight classes different? Like, if I'm looking for knockouts, what should I look for? Blah blah blah. And all I basically said to him was, like, heavyweights, there's rarely any grappling, really. Like, it's always knockouts and clinch fighting. And then I said, I'll be honest with you, bruv, if you want to get a real view of what MMA is, watch the lighter divisions, right? I said that to him as I'm texting him. As I'm texting him, this fight starts between Pantoja and Askarov. In the first minute, there was 4 submission attempts, right? In the first minute, they're just scrambling all over the place. Like, just transition scrambles, fighting, because they're so little and in shape. Like, you can't, the pace was incredible. Yeah. Also, Askarov is deaf.
That's it, yeah. It was someone was saying like his corner should be telling him this. Paul Felder's like, or I think it's Paul Felder. He's like, yeah, he can't hear him. Like,
he's deaf.
If I was my corner, I'd be telling him to do this. Like, fucking hell.
Sign language, mate. Unanimous decision for him.
He's like, what you said about like that geezer sounding like Khabib earlier. Like, he looked like a miniature like Khabib. Just the weight on him, dragging him, like all the stuff he was doing just to hold him down in place, and just. Yeah, it was a fucking sick fight.
Unbelievable. Yeah, fair play. I've always been a big fan of flyweights. Like, even when I used to watch like Mighty Mouse, I knew I was watching something special. Even with Cejudo and with TJ and all that kind of stuff, I love watching the smaller fighters because I know there's going to be action. But again, you know, hopefully they'll be as big as the heavyweights one day, figuratively, obviously. Flyweight division, we had Ariane Lipski against Luana Carolina in the flyweight division. What a fucking
nasty!
What a submission, Pete. Talk to me about this.
That was disgusting. It was like straight away that like she just looked like, I don't know. I think she caught her with a few shots, and the other girl was a bit like, oh fuck, a bit even taken back by the striking. And then when it went down, it was like I was sitting there trying to figure out what was going on. It was like they were both trying to figure out what they could grab from that angle.
Yeah.
And then when I saw her like position her like leg onto her hip, and then she had some leverage, I was like, oh fuck. And then when she got that other, if I was that other girl, I would have tapped before she even pulled my leg.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it was it was such a good fight though. Lipski, so she dropped Luana straight away and ends up in the guard. Ariana grabs hold of the leg, bends it back in an absolute savage knee bar, and then you could just hear Carolina writhing in pain.
There's a wicked screenshot as well, and it's just obviously that girl screaming on the floor, but the Lipski's face is just, she's putting everything into it. She's just gritting her teeth, just like, oh man,
it's fucking horrible. There was a bit like you say, like about when she positioned her body, because the commentators know what's going on, and they went, oh, she's got a potential knee bar here. She's got a potential knee bar, and then she, like you said, moved her whole
Yeah,
body.
she had to like position. It's almost like when you see people getting ready for like a Kimura,
Yeah.
and they're sort of like they get to a certain position around someone's back, and then they're like, oh, now they're in trouble. It's just like I don't think the other girl even realised what was coming.
Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Yeah, just to hear her. Was it a verbal tap, or did she? I think she actually did tap in the end.
Tapped and screamed. Just with no crowd as well. It's just that sickening, like fucking. Hopefully she's right.
Yeah, no, fingers crossed. Yeah, a horrible. Knees crossed, should be all right. Yeah, great win for Lipski there. Fair play to her. Next fight, Pete, again, English fighter Mark Diakise against Rafael Viziev. Some great shots landed by both. Really, really good striking on display. Really big body kicks. I've just put there was banging action throughout this. I put one of these up on my story because Viziev did the Matrix move with the kick.
So
unbelievable, bro.
He was good at the beginning because I didn't know he was the. Well, I don't know whether he's the head striking coach at Tiger, but like
Muay Thai, yeah.
Obviously he's one of the striking coaches. So they were saying that's one of the biggest sort of like Thai camps in the world, and that's where a lot of people train. Like Shevchenko and Peter Yan trains there as well. So it's like for the coach to be in, it's almost like it reminded me of when I was younger and I first did karate, and then we went to Lord's Leisure Centre, and I really wanted to like it wasn't really fighting, but it was weird. It was like obviously I was a little kid, and you could sign up, and I don't even know whether they give your headgear, and I think it was maybe just kicks and punches to the body, with little gloves and stuff. And I was like, Mum, I really want to do it. And she said no. I was fucking fuming. I didn't really do karate after that. But I remember our coach went against like a rival school's coach.
Oh, sick!
Fucking got the shit beaten out of him.
No way.
Bad. Like his nose was bleeding at the end, and like this other guy just didn't look like your typical karate like instructor. The other guy, he was like covered in tattoos. Fuck, it looked like he was on something. And our poor coach is just like, oh, like
fuck.
Actually, that's probably why I didn't go back.
Yeah, you can't teach me, mate.
That's what I mean. So like for this guy, he's obviously gone out there. He just literally just showed how good he was against someone like Diakise, who's a sick striker, and I think that's what Diakise probably was pissed off about at the end,
right?
Because that's what he is. He's a striker.
Yeah.
So he's probably thinking, oh, I have trouble with submissions and people who take me down. But now you've come up against this guy who's like just on another level.
On another level with the striking. It was a unanimous decision for him in the end, but I fucking love this fight. This was absolute war. So yeah, fair play to Fiziev. I'm interested to see what happens with him next. Pete, then we had the main events. Kelvin Gastelum against Jack Hermansson. What did you think of this?
Yeah, he looks like... I was trying to think in that division whether there's anyone like him that's a submission threat like that.
Right.
I think before, like years ago, it was like Jacare. That was the sort of guy, like if he gets you down, you're in trouble. But this Hermansson, he just looks like if he fucking, it's almost instant as well. It's like straight down, straight attacking. He doesn't hold you there for like the round and try and tap you with shots and then like try and wear you out. It's just like straight to the submission.
Mad. I always find it interesting when I see people going for the legs as well. So he got him in a heel hook, and yeah, it was just unbelievable. This is the kind of fight though where if they fought like 10 times, there'd be like 5 different outcomes. Do you know what I mean? Like Kelvin could have banged him one time or whatever.
I realise how much trouble he was in. Just like the other girl, they didn't really do much about it, to be honest. Yeah,
dangerous. So dangerous fight for Jack Hermansson there. And then we've got the main event of the evening, Pete, was Benavidez against Davison Figueiredo for the bantamweight title. Pete, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, even though it was total like dominance, it was I don't know, it was just like Figueiredo. Just to be honest, I was impressed with Benavidez is like just how he just kept going. I think he wanted it so much, and then for Figueiredo to just like demolish him like that after he's made weight now, so there's no excuses. It's almost like where does that Benavidez just, I don't know, I think he must just think fuck this, like it must be in it, like you just
where does he go from here? Like I don't know.
He's been there for like yonks, and he's been there since he beat Cejudo, right? I think he beat Cejudo.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah,
so like he knows he's good, but I think at this stage, it's like I think even Joe Rogan said he's like Jesus Christ. It's like the Figueiredo era.
Yeah.
Even though he's been around for a while as well, he's just sort of stepped it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a sick fight. Like just total dominance.
Yeah, it just completely like it's bad when I don't like seeing people get choked unconscious. That's the only thing. Like, you can tap out, like,
Yeah,
and it's just horrible. Like, not horrible, but
how well did he do to keep? He got out of about 3 or 4 attempts. And I
yeah.
was like, he can't keep doing this. Like, there must be some other sort of defense to stop him getting that far in anyway. And he was every now and then he would like push it back off. And then obviously the one that he did really get in, you could just tell. And I think Bisping, and that was like, oh, that one's in, that one's definitely in.
Yeah. But
like,
even Bisping was like, he's out. Even
to
Bisping,
the ref,
yeah. He's out. It's mad that they can see it, and like the ref standing right there, and you can't
Yeah.
fucking see it. It's like, come on, mate. Anyway, so yeah, some really, really good cards there, Pete. And I know we're desperate to talk about it. We're nearly coming to the end, but let me just bring up this card because we've got big fights coming up this weekend. We have. The prelims, you know, I'm sure we'll talk about it. We've got Nathaniel Wood, who I love seeing.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. Tanner Boza, who's only recently fought.
Was that the knockout?
Yeah. So he's only just recently fought as well. Turn this mic a little bit. Yeah. So no real like massive names on that card there. However, Peter, Kimaev just fought straight back in there. I'll rate that highly. Cowboy Oliveira, absolute submission beast. Paul Craig, seen him recently as well. Yep, Carla Esparza as well. Verdum against Gustafsson, Pete.
So excited for that.
Gustafsson going up to heavyweight. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good opponent to go up against in heavyweight. I don't know why. I was thinking about it today when I was driving when Verdum got knocked out by JDS.
Mm-hmm.
Just the uppercuts and like I know he's obviously improved his boxing and stuff from that, but I think Gustafsson's a better striker.
Yeah,
and the way obviously that's how Gustafsson knocked out Teixeira,
just
uppercuts and just the range of his punches. And I don't even know whether Gustafsson that tall and that big, and he's got fucking wicked takedown defense as well. Obviously we saw that in John Jones.
The John Jones fight, yeah.
So if Verdum can't get him down to the floor, I think it'd be a good fight for Gustafsson. I think.
I hope Verdum looks a bit better than his last fight.
That's what I'm talking about there. Like, you don't know how Gustafsson's going to come in. He might come in heavy. He might come in. He's not done it before. So he only knows how he feels in training. But
I was listening to obviously Brendan Schaub. I haven't listened to them for quite a while actually because they fucking caught Corona, the idiots. But he was talking about Gustafsson. He's like, I was in Colorado in the training camp. I was heavyweight and he was light heavyweight. So we just, you know, I met him first, really nice guy, started sparring him, beat the shit out of me. He's like, dude, I've never had that before. He was like, he just basically beat the shit out of me for 3 rounds. Like,
I shouldn't really feel sorry for fighters because it's like, it is what it is. But like that John Jones fight, I think he could have got the decision and that would have just changed everything. And just like, yeah, he just fell away a bit after that.
It was so close. It was so close. Mauricio Shogun Hua against, is that Big Nog there, Pete?
No, it's Little Nog.
Is that Little Nog, is it? Yeah. Antonio Nogueira. What do you think about this?
Hopefully it's just sick. Like I think they're that old and that they've been through so many wars.
How mad is it that Mauricio is still ranked as well? Like, fucking, what an animal. What an absolute animal.
Yeah, and I think probably you're looking at it, it's like Rua's probably like in the better sort of stage of his career to win, even though he's coming to the end of it and he's been through all the wars. Like so's Nogueira's been fucking banged out so bad.
Absolute wars.
What was it, the Rumble Johnson one? Oh, when he was hitting him in the he hit him in the forehead with like I don't even know where it come from, and I was like, oh. Usually you feel bad when someone gets hit in the nose or the chin, but he hit him in the forehead, and I was like, oh.
And then Pete, Robert Whittaker against Darren Till.
Go on, Till.
Go on, talk to me about this fight.
It feels like what you just said. It feels like a football rivalry. It's just like England versus Australia. It's just I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just excited. I hope he does it.
Is he Australian or Kiwi? No, he's Aussie, isn't he? He's Aussie, isn't he? Whittaker, yeah. What do you think about this fight?
To be honest, after we spoke about it, and obviously I was joking where I was like, he's just going to run through him. But I did like, obviously you look back at who Whittaker's beat,
mate,
and how he's beat. And I suppose you could say the Romero one was a bit dodgy. One of them was a bit.
Yes,
dodgy.
I agree.
He got dropped a few times, but yeah, I think it could end up being one of them because there's so much on the line as well. Maybe it won't be like the barn burner that everyone hopes for, but like I still think it's going to be one of them like styles make fights sort of fights because it's the way that Whittaker fought against Izzy.
Yeah,
he was close with his punches, but he just wasn't quite there. And he was putting everything into him, just like swinging big lunging hooks, and then he was getting picked apart, which Darren Till could do to him, I guess. But then we've seen just one of them lands on Till, and we've seen that he can be put out by Masvidal. So it's going to be, maybe it will be a bit more cagey than what we hope. But
I don't know. I'm hoping for a good fight. I think it's going to be a bit of a scrap. I just think people just underestimate Whittaker. I think they just always have, and then you just think, mate, he's ex-champ. And I'll be honest with Whittaker as well. He's one of those things where I didn't really see his come up. Like I didn't really pay. I can't really remember watching a lot of his fights.
I remember I was in Australia when he won the belt off of Romero. Did he win it off Romero? I'm sure.
I can't even remember.
Maybe it was like, was the belt like up in the air, or it was like, maybe it was when GSP let it go. I can't even remember.
Oh, maybe.
But I just remember sitting. I remember I was out there with someone. I was like, we was watching in a pub. Obviously, it was on at like 10, 11 a.m. We was having a few drinks. I was like, watch this Cuban guy. He's a monster. And then all of a sudden, the fight started going a certain way, and I was like, oh shit! Like I was like, this Whittaker can fight. Like,
yeah, it was against Romero.
Does it say that was for the title? Yeah. Yeah.
So won the interim UFC middleweight championship fight of the night, and then promoted to undisputed champion there. And then he beat Romero again, and then obviously he lost to Adesanya. But mate, some of the people that he's beaten there,
I'm looking at the ones.
Do you know what I mean? He's
my eyes are fucking terrible.
So he's beat Romero, Souza, Derek Brunson, Uriah Hall, Brad Tavares.
Look who he lost to there, though.
Yeah, he lost to Stephen Thompson. Yeah. But again, that's no.
No, I'm just saying the same sort of. If that's how Till should fight, I think.
Yeah.
In and out. Right.
So interesting.
That's all he's got to do. In and out.
In and out. Easy as that. Well, I'm really looking forward to it. I am away this weekend, so I'm going to have to maybe watch this even Monday. I've accepted that I'm probably going to know by the end of the weekend who won the fight, because I can't obviously stay off my phone because I'm a millennial, but we'll see what happens. Peter, anything else from yourself, mate?
What did I write on my phone? I've turned it off now. One bit really made me laugh. Let's finish on a funny note.
Go on.
What we were talking about, Felder and Bisping. There was one bit, I can't remember what card it was, but he was like, Paul Felder was like, it's weird because we're watching these fights, and then I go out to the bathroom to go to the toilet, and it's daylight outside, which doesn't usually happen.
Yeah. And
then Bisping said something enough. Whoever the other guy was like, "Oh, maybe you should have a coffee or something like that." And he's like, "Yeah, maybe a cocktail." and then they said to Bisping, "What you can have?" He was like, "I'll be having several of those later." They must just be having such a good time.
Maybe a whiskey. And then And then he was like, "What time is it?"
They must just finish the fights. What do you reckon the main card must finish at, like midday or?
Yeah, I was going to say 10, 11.
Straight out to the beach or whatever, and just man.
So weird, isn't it? So weird. What the life of a UFC commentator. Wicked. Anyway, thank you. Yeah, we'll get there one day. Anyway, we've got a podcast. Don't need to commentate. We're our own bosses. Come on. Anyway, thank you very much for listening and watching. Now that me and Peter finally met, we can now do this once a week, a bit better. Thanks very much for listening. Get in touch with the show if you'd like us to talk about anything in particular at Strike Thoughts. You can email strikethoughts@gmail.com. Check out Show Motion Studios, and you can check out all the pods from us there. We've got 2 Ps in a pod, Scene of the Grime and Strike Thoughts as well. Peter,
sick, sweet. Go on, Till.